All right, welcome in Libras to your monthly intuitive tarot reading. So this is for September 2025. So you're sitting here watching this video, or you were drawn to this video for some reason. So there's probably an important message for you that your higher self wanted you to know. So definitely watch to the end to get all the tidbits. Also, don't forget to take a look at your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign readings. If this is your sun sign, most people immediately go to their sun signs, but don't forget about your moon, rising, and Venus signs, because those are really important signs. I'm going to move my cup here. Jupiter just flew in to join us. All right. So September. So yeah, we have some Libras who will turn or have their birthday at the end of the month. Since we'll shift into Libra season. So happy birthday to those of you. Okay, so what else do we got going on? It's been a great summer. We're shifting out of summer in September, moving into the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere. Those of you in the summer are probably looking towards spring, forward towards spring. But we'll take a look what's going on in September for you all. I'm going to be pulling, these are, why can't I always forget, the Eco Heart Oracle, sorry. So I'm going to pull the Eco Heart Oracle. Most of the cards in here are like either animals or like plants, things like that. And this is going to be a symbol during September for you that is to utilize the energy of that animal or item or thing. It'll be used as kind of a support, a totem for you, and you can utilize that, and whatever comes out, potentially you'll get a lot of signs and synchronicities around that. I'm going to kind of put my book here because, so for September, the themes and reflections, I do hit these if you're new to my channel. For the monthly readings, I do like to hit the monthly themes and reflections for that month. And really they revolve around whatever sign the sun is in. So for September, the sun moved into Virgo for most of the month. So the themes are going to be health, organization, and service. So those are going to be things to really put at the forefront. Think about those things in general in your life. Where do you feel like you're at with that? Like health, for example. What areas of your health do you feel like you need to focus on, prioritize, work on? Especially for those in the northern hemisphere, as we shift seasons out of summer into fall and winter. I think it's an important time to get our health stable and strong and prepare us for the slower months, especially if you're in an area where you get true winter. Just making sure we're healthy and strong. But it's a time to really do the things that we need to do to align and harmonize our bodies. Again, our body is the most just like amazing mechanism that we could have ever asked for. Our bodies know everything. Our bodies know how to harmonize. Our bodies know how to support us. And if your body's not in alignment, that is just a sign that you are not in alignment in an area of your life or multiple areas in your life. So what is your lifestyle? What is your activities? What are you putting in your body? Where is your emotional state? What trauma have you not fully accepted, integrated, felt, allowed your body to release, because a lot of times it's those emotional things that are stuck in our bodies, and those are really usually the root of why we are going through certain physical things. So, and then we have organization and service. So how can we be of service to ourselves, most importantly, but also to the greater collective? And the collective of not just humans, but how can we be of better service to our fellow animals, our earth? So think through that. Where are you in misalignment with the relationships you have? Like I said, not just people, but also relationship with yourself, relationship with nature, and relationship with all animals, whether it's an ant on the ground, to the elephants, to your pet. Okay, it all is connected. All right. So I will pull the first Eco Heart Oracle. So you got echinacea, deep healing. Look at that. So yeah, it's right on with health. So I think there is a health focus for you, Libras, in September. Echinacea is going to be a focus for you, and use echinacea to help support you. I would go and Google echinacea and take a look at what echinacea does, what it helps support, what it can do for you, and definitely start adding echinacea into your health regimen this month. I'm going to read the book actually for that, so we can get some more information, but definitely there's something about deep healing that needs to be a focus for you in September. All right. So, yep, the echinacea purple cornflower can be used for healing and to boost your immune system. Great to get our bodies ready again for winter. Echinacea, also placed in a vase at home, attracts prosperity. And they encompass, it says, offer echinacea to spirits of a place and river gods and goddesses. The meaning and guidance of the echinacea is deep magic is still alive and deeply enmeshed within the heart of each human being. You carry healing energy within your heart, just as the echinacea does. Where can you use your heart healing energy to create a change in you or someone else's life? Something else it can say is, if you don't have these cards, which most of you don't, but it says to intuitively just kind of gaze or think of an echinacea flower in your mind and see what kind of intuitive messages or guidance that's coming from the flower and that it wants you to know. Okay, let's pull a couple oracle. Journey. And I did see this, so I'm going to pull a Broken Heart. Magician in the Mirror. So I do feel like you are definitely being called on a healing journey. And it's around something you're carrying in your heart still. Look at your life and where are you still holding a lot of, pain, heartache in your heart that you're still carrying. This could stem from, a recent situation or from childhood, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of signs right now that are kind of the magician in the mirror. There's a lot of things in the forefront of your experience. It could be people, relationships, experiences that are kind of mirroring back to you and maybe even triggering you. And it's for you to really sit with the feelings that are coming up. What am I feeling? I'm feeling a lot of anger. Well, when you start to take the layers, peel the layers back of the anger then underneath is frustration. Frustration of what? Frustration of not being seen or heard. Frustration of not having control and being people just causing me pain. And then kind of layer that back. That stems from, you know, my parents just not supporting me as a child, not loving me like I needed to be loved. Something like that. But I think you're gaining a lot of power this month. You have a lot of power as the magician here to utilize energy, to utilize the energy of the echinacea as an example, but just in general, to really heal, go on this healing journey into the depth. So you see in this card, it's dark, and she's kind of, it's almost like you're in the dark, leaving out into the vast beyond of an unknown space. But this unknown space holds this piece of you that's still stuck, that still feels broken or betrayed or hurt. And this is a beautiful journey, I feel. This may be scary and intimidating and somewhere you don't want to go because you don't want to relive this. You don't want to feel it again. But it's more about not reliving the experience. It's about connecting with this part of you. Maybe it's, you know, a 5-year-old child that's still stuck that is calling for you to love it, to embrace it, to save it from a space where it feels alone or abandoned. So this is pretty deep for you Libras this month. Hierophant has came out. So this is, the first thing I got was this is a commitment to yourself. So if you are searching for a commitment in the external world from like love or partnerships, or a commitment from your family or friends to just show up better, to be more committed to the connection, this is all a mirror of you. So if you feel like you're not getting the commitment that you want, first you have to commit to yourself, which there's parts of you that you've pushed away, that you've abandoned, that you've disconnected from, that you don't want a relationship because you're too afraid, because you don't feel safe. And this external world is just mirroring that back to you. All right, underneath we have the King of Coins. There we go again. Look at that. The heart, broken heart card, 3 of Swords. Yep, that's just double confirmation. King of Swords, the King of Cups. Wow, look at all these kings. And then the Sun. And I love this, the 6 of Swords. And I'm just going to pull this because I feel like what it's saying, the Devil, is we're moving through these stuck feelings, this fear, this being chained to this could be karmic experiences, this could be fear, but we're moving past this now. And I feel like there's definitely some sort of confliction here with the three kings. In some weird way, for some of you, I feel like this is just a representation of you harmonizing all these different aspects. Oh my God. Oh, Jupiter. Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't safe. It's a little too close to the candle. Okay, so I'm moving that here. All right, sorry. Take a little pause there. All right. So I was talking about the 3 kings. So for some of you, to me, there's, because of this repressed pain or heartbreak that you're still carrying, I think what you've done is, as a coping mechanism, you tend to lean too much on the mind and the physical, and really you've kind of cut yourself off from your emotional body. But it's your emotional body, it's your emotions and tapping into your emotions that's going to lead you to your true happiness. So I think you tend to approach life from more logic, You're kind of been directing yourself at, well, if I create an image, or if I have these things, or if I have this job, and there's definitely not an expression of emotion here. There's kind of a block that, and this is kind of also what's causing more heartache for yourself, and you not getting actually what you truly want, because you're not, what you truly want is in your heart space, and it's not in your mind, and it's not going to be externally. And also there's this too much leaning on the divine masculine energy, the masculine energy here. There's a lot of masculine energy here, so it's like you're cutting yourself off from your feminine energy. So that holds true for men and women. Again, that's the whole yin yang, right? Is we all encompass both. Even if we're physically female, we still need to find a harmonious balance between our masculine energy and our feminine, and the same holds true for men. And there's a lot of masculine, so I feel like you're almost cutting yourself off from your feminine energy, which is more nurturing energy, your intuition, your loving energy, your emotional body, and going within, right? Where the external masculine is about the external world and just focusing on building and creating and taking action. But sometimes we really need to, before we take action, we need to feel it out. We need to get guidance from our intuition. We need to feel out what is for our best and highest good based on what our soul wants, or what's really in what's our deepest true heart's desire. And that's what's going to lead you to your happiness and help move you forward on an easier path. And I think this has been part of your karmic purpose, a karmic lesson here, is to get your, it's like you're too externally focused here. It can also tie back to the Hierophant, which is like also too much traditional focus. Like you're too focused on the old way of doing things, or you're listening to other people, your culture, your societies of, this is how I need to live my life, and you've been kind of trying to follow the rule book, but the rule book has been causing you more heartache. So it's like, instead of following the crowd, you need to follow your own inner heart, and that is probably going to look a lot different than the path you've been, or the guidance you've been following, even if it's tied to belief systems, right? Which it all is, like religion, it's tied around a belief system that I have to live by these rules, or I have to live this way, otherwise I'm not in alignment. But ultimately, you don't think you're in alignment with the external world, which is your family, your communities, your religion, whatever it is. But in reality, how you're living is not in alignment with your true self, your authentic self. All right, let's keep going. 10 of Pentacles, Empress, and the Knight of Cups. But there is a lot of love here. There's a lot of love coming in. And this can be tied back to the family, ancestral stuff here, and the mother. So this is interesting. So for some of you, there's something being called out about the maternal side, or the maternal ancestral karma here. There could be like karma around the mother figure. And so there's that focus for some of you, if that resonates. For some of you, there's an aspect here around a relationship, and someone's offering this Empress love. The Empress would embody kind of this person that you consider to be the one. Maybe you're in that position and someone else is offering you love. But there's something here about tangibly wanting to, build something in the physical. Let's make this a real relationship in the physical. This could be about marriage, about, figuring out how that physically looks. It could also be around finances. Seven of Pentacles. Or no, this is 8. Sorry, 8 of Pentacles. I always miss the pentacle in his hand. Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords. So there is some, like, how do we work this out? This could also be around, like, how do we work out the money and the finances in regards to, like, jobs or work as well. But this is something around money or finances, or it could also be a family dynamic or just family in general. But there's a little bit of discrepancy here because we have a queen and then we have a page. So we're not equally footed here. And this to me is like, if we had the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, that's like, you know, a meeting of the minds. Like, we're on the same page, we're at the same level, we're coming together. Even in our communication, but there's a little bit of inequality here. Somebody is more mature, or also this could also indicate someone is kind of controlling the other one a little too much and trying to kind of control the situation. And the person who's the page, I feel like, is just trying to keep up. They're trying to kind of appease the Queen of Swords when it comes to communication and love and how are we going to do things, because there could be some sort of imbalance here in general between the two people as well. So we have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's definitely anxiety over this. It could be some sort of money dynamic. Seven of Swords. And then the Four of Swords. So this could, Seven of Swords, this could be that somebody's kind of lying to themselves about the situation. Like, it's almost like you're looking at the situation and not facing the truth. You could also be like not wanting to face the truth and kind of lying yourself about everything's fine, everything's perfect, but there's definitely anxiety here. So I don't, it's almost like you know the truth, but yet there is some energy here around either lying to yourself, or someone could be not speaking the whole truth here as well. And that's where the anxiety comes in of like, well, if I tell this person the truth, you know, there might be some sort of consequences here. And I also feel like with the Seven of Swords and the Four of Swords, like someone's really being quiet about something. They're hiding, they're holding back something here. And it could be with this Page of Swords, there's a little bit of cautious, someone's approaching this situation very cautiously because, again, there's something going on that maybe they don't want to say or divulge because they feel like it could maybe piss someone off, or just, again, create, maybe they don't want to lose the relationship. So what's the Seven of Swords, Four of Swords about? There's some resistance here. There's definitely some resistance. What's the Nine of Swords? Page of Wands. You know, this could be where the money situation or just certain dynamics in this relationship, it's almost like there is some resistance here. I do feel like there's an inequality here, and it's almost like it's like you can't figure out, you need to approach this with new ideas. And it's almost like you don't know like how to work through this to make this more even. For some of you, there could be a dynamic here where somebody has children, and the children could be causing the other one of you anxiety and overthinking because of the impact of how the child impacts this relationship. And is this gonna also impact where the other person wants to leave, get out of the relationship? Or, you know, the person who doesn't have the kids is like, oh God, I can't deal with the kids because of a certain dynamic going on. And how do I get out of this? Could be another scenario. So it's kind of all about your specific situation. What specifically, let's get another clarifier for the Ten of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. Justice. And the Fool. It's almost like there's some sort of karmic piece to this connection that you're just hoping, like, karmically it just, that almost like the tides turn, right? Like, we overcome the karmic piece to this, we overcome the devil energy, and we're kind of like maybe whatever issues have been there, like, let's just, the Fool, right? Let's just not worry about this. Let's just start all new together, and let's create a whole new, you know, like a new beginning here. But it has something to do with, it could be money or work, or just, again, how this relationship physically comes together. Like, someone definitely is like more encompassing the Fool energy of like, oh, let's just, again, let's just have a new beginning. Let's just forget about the past. But someone's definitely like having some anxiety over this. So what's with the Queen and then the Page here? What's going on here with this dynamic? Yeah, Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. So there's definitely uncertainty with this, whatever, if this is regarding a certain situation, specifically in the relationship that you're dealing with, it could just be in general the relationship, but there's this dynamic here where something's uncertain. Like, it's almost like the fate of the future, the relationship is uncertain right now, which I can see why then, you know, there's anxiety and worry. There's also potentially someone worried that someone could get angry. And that's where maybe someone's holding back information or holding back their truth because they're worried that someone could get angry. But we also, there's this energy of not wanting to make impulsive decisions about something. So let's like think this through. Let's get on the same page. But there's this energy of someone's trying to appease the other one more. So that's where I feel sometimes maybe that's too why someone's not fully speaking their truth, because they're afraid. There's definitely a dynamic imbalance here, which obviously isn't a good sign, right? That's a red flag. Like, you need to be able to stand in your truth and your confidence and your power, express how you really feel, what you want. And if it doesn't align, you know, you have to come to that truth. But a lot of people don't work like that because they're so focused on this attachment and codependency of like, I need to maintain this relationship, even if it's not in my highest good, even if it's not healthy or just compatible, right? Because, I mean, you have to assess all that. But I'm going to get one more for the Seven of Swords, Four of Swords. We have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, the truth here. Someone's definitely the truth isn't coming out. Like, someone's either, I don't feel like they're hiding something, but they're just not saying, not speaking their truth. There's resistance to speaking their truth. They're holding back some things here. Someone's hiding some things, and they're being kind of not talking about something. But this is a dynamic, like, we have to have some sort of ending and new beginning. But this pattern is still we're stuck in the old. So we can't have a new beginning if we're going to continue this pattern and continue these dynamics that are imbalanced. So the only way you're going to really know is if this is going to be successful or you're going to get through this, is speaking your truth. And it's only in standing in your truth and really looking at maybe the elephant in the room, or really looking at the truth to the situation and how are we going to deal with this truth, can you potentially start the new beginning. But it's almost like you have to like throw everything on the table right now, like lay it all out there. And if someone's going to get angry and leave, then you got your answer, right? You got your answer. So I guess in September, Libras, this is about really standing in your truth. If you feel afraid of this person, I mean, that's obviously a red flag too. But there's something about gaining your power, your strength here, in a loving way. But we need to communicate. And if you stood in your truth, expressed yourself in a compassionate way, respectable way, then however that lands is kind of what's in your best and highest good. All right, Libras. Okay, I will leave you with that. Hopefully that helps. And what else do I want to say? Sending love and energy. I forgot to mention the candles I lit for you guys. So I did a focus on the sacral chakra in your throat chakra. That's kind of what I was intuitively picking up for you guys, which makes sense because the throat chakra is tied to communication, truth, speaking your truth, but also the sacral chakra does speak to protection. So I'm sending protective energy with whatever situation you're dealing with, and no matter how it works out, it's going to be good and you're going to be protected. All right, Libras, see you in the next reading. Bye for now.